Children grieving their mother poured it all out in a Wayne County courtroom today. Earl Maxwell was the ex-boyfriend of LATRESE Morris Dorsey. He became so enraged with her, he busted into her home last year and shot and killed her right in front of her 4-year-old daughter with her 14-year-old son in a neighboring room.
My mom was the nicest person, the most caring person, and for you to take her out of my life like that hurts my heart so much.
What disgusted her children even more?
We were supposed to be dating. We were still dating until this plumber guy came along. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Maxwell continued on with things that had the judge telling him to zip it until finally...
But I was wrong. I was wrong, and I'm sorry, and ain't no way I can repay this. It's between me and the Lord now. I just want to let y'all know that I have repented with every bone in my body, and I can never take this back down here on this earth. And I just want to let y'all know that the Lord gave me a dream that she's with the Lord, and that's the only thing that kept me from killing myself.
Back here alive, her family didn't think much of his repenting. Apparently, the judge didn't either.
And welcome back to the channel. Today I have another story, but before we get started on that story, don't forget to like, comment, and definitely subscribe to this channel and join the Talk in Crime. Today's story is about a young lady named LATRESE Morris. Now, LATRESE Morris was age 42 years old, and LATRESE lived in Detroit, Michigan. LATRESE was a successful physical therapist, and she had 3 beautiful children, a son and 2 daughters. Now, LATRESE had so much going for herself, and eventually LATRESE would get married to Paul Dorsey, making her LATRESE Morris Dorsey. Now, LATRESE and Paul didn't work out, so they wound up getting a divorce and separating. But this did not stop LATRESE. LATRESE kept going. Her whole goal was to set life for her children, her daughters, and her son. She wanted the best for them as well as for herself. So she set out to basically be the mother that she wanted to be. LATRESE and her children moved forward after her divorce. Later on down the line, she would meet a guy. Unfortunately, this guy will be the cause of her children heartbreaking and her life being took just with a blink of an eye. You guys, this story is about LATRESE Morris Dorsey, also known as LATRESE Morris. Now, LATRESE would meet a guy named Earl. And Earl was now starting to make LATRESE believe again. Eventually, LATRESE and Earl started dating, and they thought that they were ready for this relationship. But unfortunately, Earl and LATRESE split up. Earl, age 37, will eventually not agree with LATRESE's decision to split up. I mean, in LATRESE's opinion, the relationship was not going well, and I'm pretty sure that Earl felt the same way. But Earl refused to leave LATRESE alone, causing him to just taunt her, call her, sending her messages through social media, etc. to the point where LATRESE was tired of it. Eventually, LATRESE moved into a house with her and her 3 children and cut Earl off completely. No phone calls, social media, everything. Eventually, Earl got really upset and wound up reaching out to LATRESE's ex-husband, Paul, telling Paul that if LATRESE don't get in touch with him, he was going to kill her. Basically, just signing a receipt that he was going to come after LATRESE. Unfortunately, all of this harassment after calling Paul over 20 times would soon come into play when Earl plans took action amongst his own hands. On Father's Day, June 18, 2017, LATRESE would be in a house with 2 of her children, her 14-year-old son and her daughter. Now, LATRESE was planning to go to her sister's house, so she was preparing to get ready. All while her 14-year-old son was in the back room with his headphones on playing his Xbox, and her beautiful 4-year-old daughter was in the room with her while getting ready. Eventually, Earl comes in the house and walked past her 4-year-old daughter speaking, and also pulling his gun out and shooting LATRESE 10 times. Running out of the house, Earl, and then her daughter ran to the back room to get her brother, letting her brother know that their mother had been shot. Unfortunately, her 14-year-old son got to the front of the house and witnessed his mother on the floor. He tried to resuscitate his mother, realizing that he needed assistance, running outside and screaming to the top of his lungs for help. Eventually, a neighbor comes in the house and start doing CPR on her. Unfortunately, the neighbor and her 14-year-old son and daughter witnessed her take her last breath. LATRESE was now gone, and her children witnessed her dying. Meanwhile, her 4-year-old witnessed the tragic event that Earl had now put images in her head. You guys, Earl ran. He fled. Police and everything were searching for him for days.
His left arm.
If somebody know where he is at, you are just as guilty as him. The fact that you are hiding him, the fact that you are helping him hide.
Again, police are only calling Earl Maxwell a person of interest, but if you have any information on his whereabouts, please call Detroit Police. Reporting live on the city's west side, Kimberly Craig, 7 Action News.
Eventually, Earl comes and turns himself in after he realized he was a person of interest because it was all over the news by this time. Now, Earl turned himself in and claiming that the situation was an accident. I mean, how could you shoot someone 10 times and say it was an accident? Now, Earl appeared in court, and Paul testified about Earl's phone calls. Also, the judge and Earl's lawyer had to keep talking to Earl, telling him to be quiet. I mean, he was talking on and on and on, until finally Earl spoke in front of the family and friends that lost their loved one, LATRESE Morris
Dorsey. She had dated Maxwell for 4 years, right up until she was murdered. At an earlier hearing, it was said Morris Dorsey was dating someone else, and clearly Maxwell was upset. Her estranged husband testified about a few phone calls with Maxwell.
What did he say the first time you spoke?
When I see your wife, I'm going to kill her. The second time he called, he reiterated that he was going to hurt her.
That was 2 weeks before this murder on Avon. She was shot several times in front of her 4-year-old daughter. Her 14-year-old son was also in a nearby room. Before Maxwell pled guilty to this murder, the prosecutor pointed to a statement he made.
In his statement, claims that he accidentally shot Ms. Dorsey 10 times. He specifically indicates that he accidentally shot her in the back of the head, in her hands, throughout her body.
Now, there are other factors to this, but Maxwell pled guilty to first-degree murder, so he is looking at life in prison. In the newsroom, Nick Monticelli, Local 4 News today.
She just couldn't hold back her anger.
I hate you! Maybe you can feel my skin! I hate you, dog!
The stepdaughter of a woman killed as young children looked on comes face to face with the killer. And wait until you hear what she said before the judge hauled him off to prison.
Raw emotion today inside a Detroit courtroom as Earl Maxwell was sentenced for the cold-blooded murder of his girlfriend.
Making matters worse is what Maxwell said to the court before his sentence was handed down. Let's get right to Mara McDonald. She's live tonight. And Mara, he reportedly said he loved her.
He repeatedly, Kimberly, said that he loved her, and how her children managed to keep it together as well as they did, I have no idea, because the only thing worse than listening to this man blather on about how much he loved this woman that he murdered was when he started trying to justify what he did.
I hate you!
Children grieving their mother poured it all out in a Wayne County courtroom today. Earl Maxwell was the ex-boyfriend of LATRESE Morris Dorsey. He became so enraged with her, he busted into her home last year and shot and killed her right in front of her 4-year-old daughter with her 14-year-old son in a neighboring room.
My mom was the nicest person, the most caring person, and for you to take her out of my life like that hurts my heart so much.
What disgusted her children even more?
We were supposed to be dating. We were still dating until this plumber guy came along. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Maxwell continued on with things that had the judge telling him to zip it until finally...
But I was wrong. I was wrong, and I'm sorry, and ain't no way I can repay this. It's between me and the Lord now. I just want to let y'all know that I have repented with every bone in my body, and I can never take this back down here on this earth. And I just want to let y'all know that the Lord gave me a dream that she's with the Lord. And that's the only thing that kept me from killing myself.
Back here alive, her family didn't think much of his repenting. Apparently, the judge didn't either, sentencing him to 25 to 50 years in prison. We're live at the Frank Murphy Hall of Justice tonight. I'm Mara McDonald.
Earl stated it was an accident and he repented to God, and now it's between him and God. As of like he expected people to feel sorry for him. But the judge was not feeling sorry for Earl. And if he thought that people was feeling sorry for him, he had another thing coming. LATRESE family members blurted out,
I hate you! And you can feel my skin! I hate you, dog!
And also, the judge finally was over the whole situation, giving Earl 25 to 50 years in prison. Now, you guys, this situation was devastating. And this situation is not like some of the other ones. Now, LATRESE literally separated herself from Earl, moved out with her children on her own, and still Earl was able to take her life in her own house. Literally, in front of her children. She did all types of measurements. She got away, like people said, to just get away from the situation, leave while you can. But some kind of way, Earl wiggled his way back into the presence of LATRESE and her children, and unfortunately taking her life in front of her beautiful, precious 4-year-old daughter. All while her 14-year-old son was in the room and had to witness trying to take safety measurements and save his mother all at the same time. Unfortunately, these two kids will never get these images out of their head. But what's fortunate is LATRESE's son went on 4 years later and graduated with a 4.0 GPA and a scholarship for college for football. He also majored in a profession that she was wanting to get her degree in, but never got a chance because Earl could not take the heat of her moving forward.
Therapy. Justin read us part of his speech he wrote that was read as he accepted his high school diploma.
I knew at the end of the day I had to work hard for what I want, and that was to go to college on a scholarship to play my favorite sport and major in what my mom always wanted to, just to get the degree she didn't have, to make her proud, because I knew I wanted it for myself. We all want to be successful, but first you have to want it for yourself, and that is what I achieved.
Justin wants to make his mom proud, achieving what she couldn't because of her untimely death. He just wishes she was here to see it.
She supported me through everything, and just for me to accomplish my dreams and goals, I really wish she could see me.
And Justin says his advice, never give up. If someone tries to play down your dreams, prove them wrong. Huel?
And Justin is an absolutely amazing young man, an example for all of us. He's doing well. How are his siblings doing?
Well, he has a sister, and she was 4 years old at the time, and sadly, she witnessed the murder of her mother. Now she's 8 years old. We saw her today. She's doing better. They are living with her father and stepmother, so they are raising her along with Justin, and right now, they're doing the best they can. Certainly under the circumstances, they miss their mom, but they're on the right path.
It's good to know that there's hope in spite of tragedy.
Definitely.
Tammy, thank you.
I want to congratulate LATRESE's son on a job well done and to tell him to keep up the good work, even to her daughters. Keep your head up. Your mother is watching, and stay safe. Everybody is praying and rooting for you guys, and we all are praying for LATRESE's family members, sister, friends, etc. Mother, father, ex-husband, they all are hurt. LATRESE, hopefully your story will help someone else. You guys, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, share this video, comment, and come back. Come back. I have more stories. Peace.